Hey Internet, my name is Abby and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program on Wings. We have our next launch in 3, 2, 1 and lift off. Okay, I have constructed another booster stage. This thing is a little bit inspired by the Delta IV Heavy rocket. As you can see, I've almost added 3 times the same booster in a row, and this is the same idea as the Delta IV Heavy rocket. And so yes, I'm inspired by real-world spaceflight in constructing my boosters, and this, or my Delta IV rocket-like booster, is currently launching our lander for the Moon mission. And the lander has almost everything a lander needs. It has some landing struts, it has some RCS to rendezvous and dock, it has 2 docking ports, one on the top and one on the bottom to have more flexibility. It has also a light and some science instruments, so we are well prepared, hopefully, to do our Moon mission. And by doing so, we are also doing it a little bit like the planned Constellation mission. I have a lander I'm currently launching. I have the crew vessel, like the Orion spacecraft, which I have launched in the last episode, and I have also the Kerbin Departure Stage. I've already tested out in my Minmus episodes or in my Minmus Midlands visit, and I'm now currently refueling this Kerbin Departure Stage to reuse it. And so in this case I have almost a Constellation-like configuration. The only difference is compared to the real-world planned Constellation that I don't want to screw my Kerbin Departure Stage after I've used it. Instead I like to reuse it and refuel it. And so this is the main difference in my approach and the approach of the real-world spaceflight. And so yes, in this case I'm hopefully well prepared for this. And now we are aiming for our science station again. We are doing the same approach, and I want to dock to the science station, and there I want to finally assemble my Constellation for the Moon mission. We will launch maybe in this episode or in the next episode when we head off to the Moon to finally bring back some science and to do the last test before we start to assemble the configuration to go up to Lunar, which will be a little bit longer mission. But at first I need to test out everything as the whole system and the whole configuration is working well, and if it's going well for the Moon, then I'm very confident that I can also do it for the for Lunar or any other celestial body in the solar system. And so yes, next Moon mission is the last test before we head off to bigger goals and before we leave the sphere of influence of Kerbin for a little longer time. Okay, it's the same approach as usual. I'm launching from my science station. I will raise my apoapsis a little bit higher, I think, as the science station, because I think we are still ahead of the science station as usual with our approach, and then we will dock to it. You have seen in the last episode that I've started to refuel my Kerbin Departure Stage, but unfortunately I haven't had enough fuel in space, so I need to launch also some resupply missions, maybe 1, maybe 2, but I think I will do the refueling process off camera, because it won't be so much interesting things. I will just have to launch some robotic missions up to the science station, dock to it, fuel or bring back all the fuel into my supply part of the station or into the Kerbin Departure Stage, and afterwards I have to undock and return with the thing back to Kerbin, so I don't have any space debris. And it's pretty much all the same thing, all the same time, the same thing, and I think it won't look as interesting as launching a lander or a new spacecraft. So maybe I will just bring you in for the launch of the supply mission, and when I'm finally finished with the supply or when I'm docking to the science station. So I don't want you to watch all of my... Okay, as I predicted, we are a little bit ahead of the science station. This is very good. This is as expected. So I can do my usual maneuver trick. So maybe I will just bring you in when interesting things are happening. and you don't have to watch the whole docking and resupply mission process all the time, and um, just see the highlights of the resupply mission. And I think it's more interesting to see all the lander missions here, or the launches and the assembly of the whole mission configuration for the moon mission, instead of having the issue or having to watch all over the complete blocked by fuel tank. Okay, you are in direct sunlight, this is good. 6 minutes until we reach the apoapsis, so we have a long coast phase. We can fast forward luckily through it, so we don't need to wait 6 minutes. Oh. Almost overshoot. Let's turn back to our prograde vector and throttle way up. Very good. Okay, same issue as usual. Goodbye. And ignition again for our upper stage, so we can reach an apoapsis or a periapsis, which is a little bit higher than our than the orbit of the science station, so we can have the science station to catch up with us, and yeah, to have the standard rendezvous procedure as usual. Let's throttle up and let's fly up there. And when do we have reached the point? Almost. And there it is. Let's set here at the ascending node our maneuver, so we can adjust a bit our inclination towards the station. 0.4, 0.1, exactly. And now let's fast forward to it. 3, 2, 1, and almost there. So where is my maneuver node? It's up here, very good. And we can do the burn in a short amount of time with my little lander. Oh, there's the science station. We are 70 miles or 70 kilometers away from it. But I think this amount of distance will decrease very rapidly in the near future, over the next minutes, so we are able to dock to it. So yes. And inclination change is finished, very good. Now next thing is to prepare our rendezvous. Where do we need to do it? 4.6. 1.5, okay, very good, in 2 minutes. So let's turn toward the maneuver node so we can prepare our rendezvous. Okay. And let's fast forward a bit in time. Okay, maneuver node is coming up. We are only 50 kilometers away from our station. The station is catching up. This is great. And let's do the burn. And very good. Well done, well done. Goodbye maneuver node, and we have our rendezvous in 12 minutes. And we have it in the daylight. This is amazing. This is great. A daylight rendezvous is all the time very great. Okay, 9 minutes. There comes my station. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's have a break here. Get rid of the maneuver node. Very good. Okay, we need to prepare our rendezvous with it. So let's start to work a bit on this. And and. Like this, very good. Let's speed up a bit again. Okay, very good, and stop. Now let's prepare for the kill maneuver of all of our relative velocity. And now we are approaching the station. The station is almost visible. Only 2 kilometers away from it, very good. How much fuel is left? Half of the tank, okay, very good. So everything is working as intended, everything is in good shape, this is very nice, very good. We are only 1 kilometer away from the station, so it's time to start to brake a bit. Okay. So far so good. Let's float a bit closer to it. Nice approach towards the station, very good, very good. And I'm bringing up some more parts to the station, so I think my computer has to do some more work to come up with all the physics that are now going on and to make sure that there's no collision or anything else. So my poor computer has to work very hard for my videos and for my station and for my goals I have with Kerbal Space Program. Okay, only almost 100 meters away. So let's come to a stop. Like here, very good. Okay, next thing is I have here the science compartment, and the science compartment needs to be docked on top of my lander. So I need to dock to the station with the bottom docking port. So I need at first to get rid of the booster stage we won't need anymore, because now we can do all the rest of the docking process with the RCS system. So at first decouple. Very nice, very nice. And now it's time to do the rendezvous with this docking port over here. No? Oh crap. This was stupid. This was very stupid. I disconnected and the robotic part was inside the booster stage, so I don't have anything that can control it. Okay, this wasn't as good as I like to, but we can still fix this. We need to... You can go run an EVA. So let go. You have forgot your helmet. Guy, what you are doing? You completely forgot your helmet to put on. How you can breathe? What are you doing? Guy, what are you doing? And board. Very good, very good. Now we need to... And somehow their eyeballs are gone. This is strange as well. Okay, we need to undock from this thing. And we need to switch over to... No, yes. To this thing, very good. Let's switch over to the docking, and we need to go away from this thing. And where do I need to dock it? I need to set this thing as the docking, as my target. Very good. Okay, now let's turn towards the Altair, our lander. And we need to float towards it. Good that I have some other spacecrafts up here to catch my my lander again, because this was really unfortunate to decouple it when the robotic part was inside my booster stage and not with the lander. So now the lander is completely out of control. But well, luckily I can capture it with my spacecraft and bring it up to my station. This might be a good solution, at least. So maybe like we are almost aligned with it. This is very good. Now let's come here to a stop and kill all of our velocity towards it. Let's turn towards the docking port, like now. And now let's perform the docking. We are only a few meters away from it. I hope it's not spinning around, but it looks pretty stable. This is very good. So we are only a few meters now away from it. And come on, few meters left. Let's brake and kill almost all of our relative velocity. And we have contact. And we have confirmed docking. Very good. Now let's try the same thing again. Let's set this as our docking port. Now at first we need to kill all of our relative velocity again. You can retract your solar panels right now. They are no longer needed. Okay, very good. Now let's turn toward the docking ports. Like this, very good. Now we need to approach a little bit closer to our station. It's almost like a rescue mission we've done so far, because as my mistake happened and I detached with my robotic part, I haven't thought about that I will lose control of my lander. So it's good to have some other spacecraft so I could rescue it, and well, this is great. So I have another docking process going on right now, and we are coming closer. And the only strange thing is that the game seems to have some issues with my Kerbonauts, because as you see, at first my Kerbonaut had no helmet on, and now I even don't see him, and sometimes he also lost his eyeballs. So I'm not sure what Kerbal Space Program is doing and why it's doing this, but it's a little bit strange to have Kerbals without eyeballs and without helmets and so on. So maybe it's an issue with so many parts I have currently assembled here at the same spot in space. So maybe it's an issue with the with the physics, and that my computer has to work so hard to render everything, so he forgot completely to render the eyeballs of my poor Kerbals, poor guys. So yeah, we all see very interesting things while we are doing our space missions. This was one of the very interesting things, to have Kerbals without eyeballs and without helmets and so on. But okay, we are now on our final approach with my lander to dock it to the station. So very, very slowly and very carefully we are approaching with the bottom docking port of my lander towards the station. Everything seems to look very good. Maybe I can turn a bit around, not so much, maybe like this. Okay, very good. Now let's slow down a bit. Okay, looking good so far. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And we are almost there. And contact. And do we have a confirmed docking? Yes, docking confirmed. Very good. Let's celebrate this with a quick save just in case. And poor Sidram still misses his eyeballs. Poor guy. So I can undock again here. And I can... no. Yes. Because I need to reallocate my spacecraft to the other docking port. So let's kill again all the relative velocity and turn a bit around. And now let's float around this direction. So we need to reallocate with my spacecraft to the opposite docking port. It's a little bit like the one mission with the on the ISS, as there had 9 crew members on board last time, and they had to also change a bit, or they had to reallocate one of the Soyuz capsules, Soyuz spacecrafts, because they need to free up one of the docking ports to approach with the next launch, and so they had to do almost the same thing to float around with a spacecraft and they did also some station keeping. So I'm almost doing the same approach here with my spacecraft after I rescued my lander, and now I need to fly over to align again with my docking port I'm coming from. Okay, like this. Now let's kill again all the relative velocity towards my station. And like this. Very good. And now let's turn towards the docking port. Okay. And let's do the final approach. Very good, very good. And let's start to kill again all the relative velocity. Slowly, slowly. Okay, very good. And contact. And docking confirmed again. Well done. Well done. Everything is in good shape. So, the last thing we need to, or I like to do, before I will start my resupply missions, is undock again. And no, yes. undock with you, and we need to... Oh, wrong direction. We need to say goodbye again once for a very short period of time to my station. And I want to have this as a docking port so I can assemble my complete, and I want to control from here so I can assemble my Constellation, and this will allow me finally... No, wrong direction. This will finally allow me to being prepared and to just have the need of sorry, getting distracted right now a bit. Just to have the need of being ready with the refuel and resupply missions, so I can head off right away after the resupply and refueling missions are finished, and then I can head off to the moon because everything is assembled and I just need to undock from the station and head off. And they are still missing... Who was the other guy? I completely forget his name, but he's also not displayed in this case here. Poor guys. I think there's a real issue with the physics and the amount of parts currently hovering here at the same spot in space. So my computer can't come up with all the different things to render. Okay, now let's turn upwards to align with the docking port of my lander. Okay, good. And now let's fly up a bit. And by doing so, I also add the science part of my Constellation program to the lander, and then I can just undock from this position here, and my lander is then equipped with some science equipment, some science juniors and so on, and we can actually do some science while we are on the moon or around the moon. And Durdor has now its time of its life, and Bering is just enjoying it and smiling and is happy. This is very nice that everyone is happy with this job and is happy what we are doing here. So let's do the last docking right now to finish the construction process. And let's turn toward the docking port. Where is it? Again, I would really appreciate if I have some indications in which direction I need to turn to align with the docking port, or same as with the maneuver node. This would be really helpful if there would be some indications on the nav ball. Maybe I know there are some modifications that will do this, but it would be also nice if these things would be added in the main game, so I don't need a modification to have some advanced navball functions that will help me to control my spacecraft and to slimline a bit my approach and my process of doing all the things. Okay, still I need some fuel. There are some fuel tanks still empty. I need to refuel. And I also need to refuel the supply compartment of my station. So we are now coming closer to the lander. Everything is looking in good shape, and then we can see for the very first time the beauty of my Constellation program with the the crew spacecraft, the science part, and the lander, and the Kerbin Departure Stage, everything attached to each other and everything prepared for our final mission and our way up to the moon. And I think this will be looking really beautiful when we are finished with this. So we are only a few meters away from docking. This is really amazing. Let's reduce a bit our speed so we are not docking too fast, because we are quite heavy with the Kerbin Departure Stage with all the fuel. Let's disable RCS and SAS so we are aligning much better to the station. and to the docking port, and we have confirmed contact. Now the only thing is just to really dock to it. And yes, docking confirmed. And for the very first time we can see the whole spacecraft. This is everything. This is great. This is so great. And Sidrum has his eyeballs back. This is great. Oh, here's only the teeth. Okay, yeah. Let's celebrate this again with the quick save. Docking is now finished. Very good. So the only thing I want to do now is to also deorbit my booster stage. No, not prograde. I want to turn retrograde. Like here. And let's do the burn. And goodbye, Periapsis. Very good. So, okay. So far so good. I will bring you back in for the highlights of the resupply mission, and then we are ready to go to launch this whole huge spacecraft to the moon. So until the launch pad. Okay, we are back at the launch pad with our launch of the resupply mission for our science station. In 3, 2, 1, and lift off. Here we go again. I've added just this huge fuel tank on top of my Goliath launcher. I've caught my booster, which is a little bit similar to the Delta IV Heavy rocket Goliath launcher. I know there's much more powerful things I can do later on, but currently I don't have developed anything else than these rocket parts, and these are the most powerful one for me. So that's why I've called it the Goliath launcher. So as usual, I will do the normal approach of rendezvousing with my science station. At first, I will insert myself into a little bit higher orbit than my science station, because I think I'm still again a little bit ahead of my station, and so I give my station some time to catch up with me. And as soon as my station has caught up with me and we are well aligned, I will decrease a little bit my orbit, and I will have a beautiful rendezvous with it. And afterwards I will dock to my station and start to refuel the Kerbin Departure Stage, and also hopefully a little bit my supply part of the science station. So I hope I have enough fuel in this huge tank to do both of it. And I will just cover the first part of the launch event, so until we have the first stage separation. Afterwards I will do another break and continue it a little bit off camera, the rendezvous and the orbit insertion and all the other things. So now we can do our gravity turn to accelerate a little bit more. And yes, so I will bring you back in as shortly before we have the actual docking, and then you can see how the docking will perform from this huge fuel tank. And so yeah, I will just slimline everything a bit, so we will see again when we have the docking process. Okay, we are now in the last phase of the docking and rendezvous process. I've done the rendezvous. I've almost aligned myself with the docking port, the bottom docking port of my space station. Now it's only a matter of a few meters to... Oh, first I've totally forgot, I need to set this as a target. To target the docking port. And let's start to move towards it. And then we will have the docking of my supply ship to the station, and I can start to refuel all the different fuel tanks of my station and my Constellation ship, and to make sure that we can undock from the station in the next episode and start our mission up to the moon to bring back some good science. So yeah, a lot of exciting things are going on, and I'm only a few meters away from the docking port, so let's slow down a bit. Only some meters left, some centimeters. Let's prepare for the docking. And we have contact, very good. Very good. And docking confirmed. Amazing, amazing. And do my Kerbals have the eyeballs? Yes, they have the eyeballs. Well, Sidrum is still looking a little bit, well, I think he's missing his torso or so, but at least he has his eyeballs, so this is also good. Okay, I have docked to the station. I can now start the refueling process, and I will bring you back in when the refueling is finished, and we can undock with our supply ship. Okay, I finished the refueling process and everything, my supply part, my other spacecraft and the whole constellation is refueled completely. So it's time to say, where do we have it? To say undock. And let's prepare our departure from our science station. It was nice to meet you, but it was only a short visit. So let's move to the retrograde vector because we want to return back to Kerbin, so we don't have any space debris left. And while I'm preparing my my retrograde burn to return back to the surface of Kerbin, I will thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked my episode with all the docking process, with the assembly of my Constellation ship and the refueling process and so on. If you do so, please like my video on YouTube. Please come write me a comment what you think about Kerbal Space Program, and please please become a subscriber of my YouTube channel. And also I hope you would join me in the next episode when we leave our science station and when we start to fly up to the moon with our constellation. Until then, my name is Sebi. See you!